This is it. Part 10. The final question set in this series. Over the last 9 parts, you covered every AI-900 domain, every major Azure AI service, every responsible AI principle, and every exam trap pattern. In this video, 10 questions, 15 minutes on the clock, full AI-900 scope, every domain in play, no labels telling you which domain you are in. You answer all 10, then we go through every single answer and every reason. If you have done the work across parts 1 through 9, this is your moment to find out how ready you really are. The clock starts now. Welcome to the final part of the AI-900 practice series on our channel. If you have followed from part 1, thank you. That is a real commitment, and it will show in your result. Subscribe and hit the bell so you are first to know when the next certification series drops. Now, 15 minutes, 10 questions. Let's go. Here are your exam conditions for part 10. 10 questions, no domain labels, no hints. 15 minutes from question 1 to question 10. 3 rules. Rule 1. Before reading the answer options, identify the core task in the scenario. What is the input? What is the output? What is the constraint? Rule 2. In multi-requirement questions, work one requirement at a time. Never pattern match the whole question at once. Rule 3. Spot the pivot. One word or concept separates the correct answer from the best wrong answer. Find it, and the answer follows. 15 minutes starts now. Question 1. Question 1 of 10. A water utility company monitors thousands of pressure sensors across its pipe network in real time. The system must automatically flag when a sensor reading deviates significantly from its normal historical pattern, indicating a possible pipe leak or burst, without the operator having to define what a leak looks like in advance. Which type of artificial intelligence workload is this? Option A. Supervised classification. Option B. Anomaly detection. Option C. Reinforcement learning. Option D. Natural language processing. Think about what the system is doing and what makes it distinct from standard classification. The correct answer is B. Anomaly detection. Anomaly detection identifies data points that deviate significantly from an established baseline or normal pattern, without requiring labeled examples of anomalies in advance. The system learns what normal looks like and flags deviations automatically, making it ideal for pipe fault detection, fraud detection, and network intrusion detection. Supervised classification requires labeled training examples of each class. Reinforcement learning uses a reward signal. Natural language processing works with text and speech. Key trigger: detecting deviations from a normal pattern without pre-labeling what abnormal looks like equals anomaly detection. Question 2 of 10. A data science team trains a fraud detection model and achieves 99.8% accuracy on the test set. When the model is deployed to production, its accuracy drops to 61%. An investigation reveals that during data preparation, the team inadvertently included the transaction reversal flag as an input feature. This flag is only set after a transaction has already been confirmed as fraudulent, so it was not available at the time a real transaction would be scored. What is the most likely cause of the performance drop? Option A. Overfitting due to too many training epochs. Option B. Class imbalance in the training dataset. Option C. Data leakage, where a feature that would not be available at prediction time was included in training. Option D. Underfitting due to insufficient model complexity. Think carefully about the timeline implied by the investigation finding. The correct answer is C. Data leakage. Data leakage occurs when information that would not be legitimately available at the time a prediction is used during model training. The transaction reversal flag encodes the answer the model is supposed to predict, so the model memorized this shortcut during training, producing inflated evaluation metrics that failed entirely in production. Overfitting causes high training accuracy and lower test accuracy, but both remain on held-out data. Class imbalance causes different error patterns. Underfitting causes poor performance on both training and test data. Key trigger: a feature that encodes the answer and is unavailable at real prediction time equals data leakage. Question 3 of 10. A medical imaging company builds 2 artificial intelligence systems for analyzing surgical site photographs. System 1 draws a bounding box around each region of concern and labels it with a category such as swelling, bruising, or suture. System 2 classifies every individual pixel in the image, assigning each pixel to a category such as healthy tissue, inflamed tissue, suture material, or background. Which of the following correctly identifies both systems? Option A. System 1 is image classification and System 2 is object detection. Option B. System 1 is object detection, and System 2 is semantic segmentation. Option C. Both systems are performing object detection at different levels of granularity. Option D. System 1 is semantic segmentation, and System 2 is image classification. Think carefully about the unit of analysis in each system. The correct answer is B. System 1 draws bounding boxes around regions of interest and assigns a label to each box. That is object detection. System 2 classifies every individual pixel into one of several categories. That is semantic segmentation, which is a more granular computer vision task used in medical imaging and autonomous driving. Image classification assigns a single label to the entire image. Key trigger: bounding box with label per region equals object detection. Label assigned to every pixel equals semantic segmentation. Question 4 of 10. A financial analyst team has 2 requirements for processing lengthy quarterly earnings reports. Requirement 1. Automatically produce a 2 to 3 sentence condensed version of each report that captures the main financial narrative in natural language. Requirement 2. Extract the most important individual words and short phrases from each report, such as revenue growth, supply chain risk, and gross margin expansion, so analysts can quickly scan the key topics without reading a full summary. Which pair of Azure AI language capabilities correctly addresses both requirements? Option A. Sentiment analysis and named entity recognition. Option B. Text summarization and key phrase extraction. Option C. Key phrase extraction and text summarization. Option D. Named entity recognition and text summarization. Think about the form of the output each requirement asks for. The correct answer is B. Requirement 1 asks for a condensed natural language summary in complete sentences. That is text summarization. Requirement 2 asks for the most important individual words and short phrases. That is key phrase extraction. These 2 capabilities are frequently confused because they both reduce a long document to something shorter. The distinction is output form. Summarization produces coherent prose. Key phrase extraction produces a list of significant terms. Option C reverses the assignments. Key trigger: condensed prose narrative equals text summarization. List of important terms equals key phrase extraction. Question 5 of 10. A government tax authority deploys a digital self-assessment platform. 2 audits are conducted. Audit 1 finds that the platform requires a modern web browser and stable broadband. Citizens in rural areas with limited internet access and elderly citizens using older devices are effectively unable to use it. Audit 2 finds that the platform's AI audit trigger model selects small businesses in the hospitality and retail sectors for tax audits at a rate 4 times higher than equivalent businesses in other sectors, despite similar compliance profiles. Which of the following correctly identifies the primary responsible AI principle at risk in each audit? Option A. Audit 1 equals fairness. Audit 2 equals inclusiveness. Option B. Both audits are fairness violations. Option C. Audit 1 equals inclusiveness. Audit 2 equals fairness. Option D. Audit 1 equals transparency. Audit 2 equals reliability and safety. Think precisely about the distinction between who can access the system and whether the system's outputs are equitable. The correct answer is C. Audit 1 is an inclusiveness violation. The inclusiveness principle requires systems to be accessible and beneficial to all people, including those with older devices or limited connectivity. Audit 2 is a fairness violation. The fairness principle requires equitable outcomes across groups. Selecting hospitality and retail businesses at 4 times the rate is producing inequitable outcomes. The key distinction is access versus outcome. Inclusiveness is about who can access and use the system. Fairness is about whether outputs treat all groups equitably. Key trigger: who can use the system equals inclusiveness. Whether outputs are equitable across groups equals fairness. 5 down, 5 to go. Hold your answers. No reveals yet. That comes after question 10. Second half starts now. Question 6. Question 6 of 10. A telecommunications company deploys a customer service bot designed to handle routine queries autonomously but must seamlessly transfer the conversation, including full conversation history, to a live human agent when a customer expresses frustration, requests a human, or raises a complex billing dispute the bot cannot resolve. Which term describes this design feature, and which responsible AI principle does it support? Option A, bot failover, supporting the reliability and safety principle. Option B, human-in-the-loop escalation, supporting the accountability principle. Option C, context handoff, supporting the privacy and security principle. Option D, dialogue reset, supporting the transparency principle. Think about both the feature name and the principle it supports. The correct answer is B, human-in-the-loop escalation, supporting the accountability principle. This design ensures a human agent can take over when the bot reaches its limits, with full context so the customer does not have to repeat themselves. It directly supports accountability because it ensures a human remains available to own responsibility for complex or sensitive outcomes, rather than leaving everything to an autonomous system. Reliability and safety concerns consistent performance. Privacy and security concerns data handling. Transparency concerns decision explainability. Key trigger, bot handing off to a human agent with conversation context equals human-in-the-loop escalation. Humans remaining responsible for complex outcomes equals accountability. Question 7 of 10. A global pharmaceutical company stores millions of research papers, clinical trial reports, and patent documents in Azure Blob Storage. Scientists need to search this archive using natural language queries. During indexing, the system should automatically extract the names of compounds, diseases, and researchers mentioned in each document and attach sentiment scores to abstracts so scientists can quickly identify papers with positive trial outcomes. Which Azure service and feature combination enables this? Option A, Azure AI Language Service and Azure Translator. Option B, Azure Machine Learning with a custom pipeline. Option C, Azure Cognitive Search with an AI enrichment pipeline using Azure AI Language Skills. Option D, Azure AI Document Intelligence and Azure Cognitive Search without enrichment. Think about which service provides both the search infrastructure and the AI enrichment capability at index time. The correct answer is C, Azure Cognitive Search with an AI enrichment pipeline. Azure Cognitive Search allows organizations to index content from blob storage and apply AI enrichment skills during indexing, calling Azure AI Language Services to extract named entities, key phrases, and sentiment scores automatically as each document is indexed. Azure AI Language alone provides enrichment, but not search infrastructure. Azure Machine Learning requires a custom build. Azure AI Document Intelligence is for structured form extraction. Key trigger, intelligent search with automatic AI enrichment applied at index time over large document collections equals Azure Cognitive Search with an AI enrichment pipeline. Question 8 of 10. An organization deploys Azure OpenAI service to power an internal knowledge assistant. After deployment, employees find that carefully crafted prompts can cause the model to return harmful advice and content that violates company policy. The organization wants to implement controls that automatically filter harmful content from inputs and outputs without modifying the underlying model. Which Azure feature addresses this? Option A, Azure AI Content Safety Content Filters configured within Azure OpenAI Service. Option B, Azure AI Language Sentiment Analysis applied to outputs. Option C, Azure Machine Learning Responsible AI Dashboard. Option D, Azure Custom Vision with a trained harmful content classifier. Think about which feature sits between the application and the model as a content moderation layer. The correct answer is A. Azure OpenAI Service includes built-in integration with Azure AI Content Safety through its content filtering system. Organizations can configure filters that automatically screen both inputs and outputs, blocking content matching harmful categories such as hate, violence, sexual content, and self-harm at configurable severity thresholds without modifying the underlying model. Sentiment analysis evaluates emotional tone but does not block harm categories. The Responsible AI dashboard provides model explainability tools, not real-time filtering. Custom Vision is for image classification. Key trigger: configurable content filtering on Azure OpenAI service inputs and outputs equals Azure AI content safety filters in Azure OpenAI service. Question 9 of 10. 4 statements about Azure artificial intelligence concepts are presented. Identify which single statement is false. Statement 1. Azure Automated Machine Learning can automatically select the best algorithm and tune hyperparameters for a given dataset and task without requiring the user to write code. Statement 2. The Azure Face Service can verify whether 2 facial images depict the same person, which is called face verification. Statement 3. The Transparency Responsible AI principle requires that the organization deploying an artificial intelligence system remains legally and ethically responsible for its decisions and outcomes. Statement 4. Azure AI Document Intelligence is designed to extract structured fields from semi-structured documents such as invoices, receipts, and tax forms, understanding the semantic meaning of document layout. Which statement is false? Option A, Statement 1. Option B, Statement 2. Option C, Statement 3. Option D, Statement 4. Test each statement precisely against the definitions you have built across the series. The correct answer is C. Statement 3 is false. Statement 3 incorrectly describes the transparency principle, the requirement that an organization remains responsible for an AI system's decisions and outcomes is the definition of the accountability principle, not the transparency principle. Transparency is about whether AI decisions can be understood and explained to those affected. Accountability is about whether humans and organizations own responsibility. Statements 1, 2, and 4 are all accurate. This is a classic exam trap, assigning one principle's definition to another. Key trigger: if a statement defines transparency as responsibility ownership, that statement is false. Responsibility ownership is accountability. Question 10 of 10. The final question of the series. This scenario spans every major domain of the AI-900 exam. A national public broadcaster is building an artificial intelligence platform. 6 requirements. Requirement 1. Automatically transcribe all live broadcast programs in real time to generate closed captions for viewers who are deaf or hard of hearing. Requirement 2. Translate the resulting written English transcripts into 10 other languages for international broadcast partners. Requirement 3. Analyze viewer feedback emails submitted after each program and produce a single positive, negative, or neutral rating per program. Requirement 4. Screen all user-generated video thumbnails submitted by independent content creators before publication to detect violent, sexual, or self-harm imagery. Requirement 5. The broadcaster's content recommendation model produces personalized viewing suggestions. When a viewer asks why a particular program was recommended, neither the technical team nor the viewer can obtain a meaningful explanation. Additionally, the model never recommends programs featuring non-English language content despite viewer preferences, and when complaints arise, the broadcaster blames the third-party AI vendor. Name all responsible AI principles at risk. Requirement 6. A chatbot on the broadcaster's website must answer questions such as, what time does the evening news air on Tuesdays? From published schedules, and also understand commands such as, add a reminder for the Friday documentary, to extract intent and entities. Which answer correctly maps all 6 requirements? Option A. Azure AI speech to text for requirement 1. Azure Translator for requirement 2. Sentiment analysis in Azure AI language for requirement 3. Azure AI Content Safety for Requirement 4, Transparency and Fairness and Accountability for Requirement 5, and Azure Question Answering plus Conversational Language Understanding within Azure Bot Service for Requirement 6. Option B. Azure Translator for Requirement 1, Azure AI Speech for Requirement 2, Named Entity Recognition for Requirement 3, Azure AI Vision for Requirement 4, Transparency and Accountability for Requirement 5, and Azure Bot Service alone for Requirement 6. Option C. Azure AI Speech to Text for Requirement 1, Azure Translator for Requirement 2, Key Phrase Extraction for Requirement 3, Azure AI Content Safety for Requirement 4, Inclusiveness and Reliability and Safety for Requirement 5, and Azure Question Answering plus Conversational Language Understanding for Requirement 6, without bot service. Option D, Azure AI Speech to Text for Requirement 1, Azure AI Text to Speech for Requirement 2, Sentiment Analysis for Requirement 3, Azure AI Vision for Requirement 4, Fairness and Transparency for Requirement 5, and Conversational Language Understanding alone for Requirement 6. Work through every requirement. Requirement 1. Transcribing live broadcast audio in real time to generate captions as spoken audio to written text, which is Azure AI Speech to Text. Requirement 2. Translating written English transcripts into other languages is written text translation, which is Azure Translator. Option D incorrectly assigns text to speech. Requirement 3. Analyzing emails to produce positive, negative, or neutral ratings is sentiment analysis. Option C incorrectly assigns key phrase extraction. Requirement 4. Screening thumbnails for violent, sexual, or self-harm imagery is the job of Azure AI Content Safety, not Azure AI Vision. Requirements 5 has 3 principal violations. The viewer cannot get an explanation of why a program was recommended, which is a transparency violation. The model never recommends non-English content despite stated preferences, which is a fairness violation based on language and cultural characteristics. The broadcaster blames the third-party vendor, which is an accountability violation. 3 principles are at risk: transparency, fairness, and accountability. Only option A identifies all 3. Option B misses fairness. Option C assigns inclusiveness and reliability and safety, neither of which is the primary concern. Option D misses accountability. Requirement 6 has 2 subtasks. Answering what time the news airs from published schedules is question answering. Understanding a reminder command and extracting intent and entities is conversational language understanding. Both must be deployed within Azure Bot Service for the website. Option A correctly assigns all 3. Option C omits the bot service layer. Option D assigns only CLU. The correct answer is A. It is the only option that correctly addresses all 6 requirements across all 5 exam domains. This is the final question of the AI-900 practice series. If you understand why each of the other options fails, you are ready for the real exam. Well done. Pencils down. Here are all 10 answers. Question 1, B. Anomaly detection. Question 2, C. Data leakage. Question 3, B. Object detection and semantic segmentation. Question 4, B. Text summarization and key phrase extraction. Question 5, C. Inclusiveness and fairness. Question 6, B. Human-in-the-loop escalation supporting accountability. Question 7, C. Azure Cognitive Search with an AI enrichment pipeline. Question 8, A. Azure AI Content Safety Filters in Azure OpenAI Service. Question 9, C. Statement 3 is false because it describes accountability, not transparency. Question 10, A. All 6 requirements correctly matched across all 5 exam domains. How did you do? Post your final score out of 10 in the comments. A score of 8 or above means you are genuinely exam ready. 6 or 7 means one more targeted revision pass on your weak domains, and you are there. Below 6 means go back to the parts that cover the domains you dropped points in and do one more pass. To everyone who has followed this series from Part 1 to Part 10, you have done the hard work. The AI-900 is achievable, and you now have every tool you need to pass it. Post your exam result in the comments when you sit it. I will be watching for them. This is Skills on Cloud. Subscribe for the next series. Well done. See you there.